There is a new sadness in you, brother.
No. I've simply grown tired of pretending I am content.
Perhaps I can share your burden.
You already do. And now, Mandata's lessons have betrayed you too. I expected more from the fabled Crusaders. You have preyed on my people for the last time. Your scheming ends now. Suffer as I have.
Man, fisting people hasn't felt this good since Lube. You know, Ramatra's one of the most unique heroes in Overwatch. And it's not because he has 7 abilities, 8 if you include the role passive. It's because he's one of the few heroes who weren't completely broken at launch. And that's saying something because when Ramattra first released, he was actually unkillable. So I hope that gives you a good idea of how fucked up some of these heroes were. Speaking of new heroes, Ramatra's the only character to make me readjust who my favorite hero is. Basically, when a new hero comes out, I'm like, that's cool, I'm gonna stick to my Reinhardt, Cassidy, and Ana. Something about Ramattra's kit is just so enticing to me. Maybe it's because he's so adaptable. Wait, no, already did that. I think the difference between Rein and Ramattra is that when you play Reinhardt, you're almost role-playing that you're powerful. Ramattra, on the other hand, feels like he was made to be intimidating, like you're supposed to run away from him. From his voice lines and cosmetics, and all the way to his visual effects and abilities. It really feels like the devs enforced that power trip. But then you play Reinhardt and the lows are low, but the highs are so goddamn high, it feels so good. Oh my god, who do I play? And that's not mentioning Reinhardt recently got a bunch of changes to his kit. Your hammer now brings enemies closer to you when they get hit, your charge cooldown has been decreased. Fire Strike now does 100 damage, which is absolutely insane. His Earth Shatter stun duration now lasts longer? Wait a minute. Direct hit damage reduced from 250 to 170. Well, it looks like overall Reinhardt got nerfed, but what can you do? I gotta admit, it feels really good to have a new set of tanks to play that I actually enjoy. With the addition of Junker Queen and Ramattra, I finally get to play different things. And because of that, the moments where I do play Reinhardt are even more enjoyable than normal. Speaking of Reinhardt, do you want to know something that Ramattra has that Rein doesn't? A useful shield. If you didn't know, every shield and barrier is either deployed extremely fast or instantaneous, with the exception of Reinhardt. Now this is done so you don't go spamming your shield and blocking everything, but it does lead into a lot of moments where you're like, how did I not block that? I had my shield up, and you watch the kill cam and you haven't even deployed it yet. Having a long range instantaneous shield isn't the only way Ramattra can protect his team. Dive in Overwatch has always been really strong. You get a kill, you get out, or you don't get a kill, you get out. Every hero can engage a fight really easily, but that's only half the battle. You still need to reliably escape from a situation that's turned really bad. But Ramattra's vortex ability forces enemies to stay in that really bad situation. Not only does it slow the enemies down, but it pulls them to the ground, making it really easy to shoot them with your primary fire. It's not a very oppressive ability. Think about it like this. Roadhog's hook forces you out of position, which can feel very unfair at times. On the other hand, Ramattra's vortex only punishes you if you're already out of position. But I think the best part about the vortex is when you combine it with your staff. If you throw your vortex into the entire enemy team and then shoot them with your primary fire, it creates some of the most brain-numbing, tingling sounds ever. Oh. Speaking of the staff, it's not very good at doing a lot of damage, but it's very capable of doing consistent long-range poke damage. Throwing down your vortex then lining up a bunch of headshots usually gets rid of a squishy really quickly, but sometimes it feels like you're doing absolutely nothing. I just want to make it clear, I'm not saying his primary fire is weak and needs to be updated. I'm just giving a heads up to future Ramattra players. I'm just letting them know you're probably not going to kill the ball with your primary fire staff. Now, I've painted Ramattra as almost a very passive type of tank, and if you didn't know any better, you might even think Ramattra's a boring character. But with the press of one button, Ramattra goes from being a great defensive passive hero to being downright terrifying and brutal. I understand people think Ramatra's ult is a little bit too strong, but my philosophy is, if your voice actor is this good, you're allowed to be a little bit overpowered. Now the question is, why does he say suffer as I have? People theorize that the suffering that he's referring to is the abuse and discrimination his people have been facing. But personally, I think the suffering that he's talking about refers to the Coin Line Weekly Challenge. And if my theory's right, don't worry Ramattra, we have all suffered like you have. Ramattra's very special because he's what we love to call in the community a tempo tank. The Overwatch 2 devs made a very good observation. They saw that Ramattra could play very slow and defensively, and then instantly swap to fast and aggressive whenever. No other character in Overwatch history is able to play safe and then engage into a fight when they think they're ready to. Hence, he can control the speed, hence tempo. I think that's really cool. Leave a comment down below who else can play really safe and then aggressively when they need to. Just as a warning, I better be seeing a lot of characters from Paladins, because Ramattra is the only Overwatch character that can control the tempo. Do you know what else Ramattra's really good at? Not fucking dying. Every time you go into your punching form, you gain 225 HP in armor. So what you can do is go into your Nemesis form when you're low, get your 225 HP, and
then when you're low again, cancel your Nemesis form, and then go into your ult form, which also puts you in Nemesis form, which gives you another extra 225 HP.
And on top of all of that, Ramattra also has a block ability. This is one of Ramatra's strongest abilities. I rarely use it though because if you're blocking, you're not punching. That's my philosophy. While blocking, you take a lot less damage, and while you're blocking, your supports can keep you alive, even when you should be completely dead. The block can feel pretty unfun to fight against because you're about to kill him, and then you gotta fucking reload, and then the support heals him once, and then it's all over from there. But his back is vulnerable when blocking, so if you're somehow behind Ramattra, you can shoot him in the back and it won't negate any damage. His biggest weakness is that when he has no abilities, he can only use his primary fire, which is that shitty little staff, so... Also, a big shout out to all the Doomfist players who got one new ability in Overwatch 2. And then that ability became semi-redundant because Ramattra just had a better version. At least you guys got that One Punch Man event, I guess. The skin's fucking ugly though. A good habit to get into for Ramattra is to attack and then block and then attack again. Against characters like Reinhardt, this is really easy and helpful. Kinda outplayed that guy. Also, a really easy and powerful combo is to use your vortex and then your pummel, just fucking beat the shit out of someone. My initial impressions with Ramattra was that I'm gonna love him because he just beats the fucking life out of people. But then the more I played and the more I weaved in my blocks and then my fucking slowing enemies down and then using different playstyles, you know, like playing back at, tempo. You know, learning the tempo of the character, I fell in love with him even more. And I'm not gay, but for Ramattra, I might just have to make an exception. And a side effect of having Ramattra be a surprisingly complex character is that when you do go apeshit and ult, you can just kind of turn off your brain and start punching people to death. It's like such a simple concept. Like, you gotta try really hard normally, but when you ult, just kill people. I love that. Before we talk about Ramattra as a character and what he means, I just want to give out a little warning. Not a trigger warning. I don't really think this is deep enough, but it is more of a, I'm aware that this is gonna be, it might kill the vibes a little bit, because I'll be talking about some pretty important stuff. Take it as a trigger warning if you want, but I'm really just here to tell you that it might be not as fun. It's no secret that the Overwatch team uses Omnics to portray discrimination. In the animated short Alive, the Overwatch team not so subtly draws connections to discriminations against certain sexualities. Ramattra himself is the Overwatch team's way of talking about certain groups of people getting discriminated against. Overwatch prides itself on being a very inclusive game, so it makes sense that it does talk about these topics. If you're someone that feels like you've been discriminated against, or felt like you don't belong anywhere, and a game like Overwatch comes along and makes you feel welcomed, I'm very happy for you. But that's not what I'm interested in. I see Ramattra as an alternate timeline of our own. What if the years of peaceful protesting and arguing, fighting for rights, never worked? What if those oppressed groups grew tired of trying to do the right thing? They could no longer sit down and just take the beatings of physical and verbal abuse. The oppressors will call them names, dehumanizing them. The oppressed no longer wanted to sit down and take the abuse. But if they were to fight back, they would only be proving them right, saying that they were physical and nothing but dangerous. And this is what I think Ramattra actually represents. Why sit down through the abuse and insults? They already think of you as dangerous. All Ramattra has ever done was peacefully protest, and that was dangerous? That's what makes him less than others? That's completely unfair. Why play by the rules if they're not going to play by them either? They have no reason to call us those names. But if they're gonna do it anyway, we might as well give them a real reason to call us those names. As dramatic as I'm making this, the scary part is, there was a very real chance that this could have happened in our world. Just food for thought, I guess. And that's what I like about Ramattra's story. Well, it's less that it's his story, but it's what he represents. And when you think about what he represents, you can, go into that whole spiral that I just went on. It also gives me hope for the Overwatch 2 story mode, because you look at fucking Sojourn and you're like, oh my god, this is the writing we're dealing with. And then you look at Ramattra and you're like, okay, I have faith in the Overwatch team. Anyway, that I guess wraps up the Ramattra portion of the video. And this is the part where you can stop watching and I won't feel bad at all. I'll just cry a little bit, but go ahead and leave. So, if you may or may not know, I made a video on a not Overwatch game. It's not Modern Warfare, this is just fucking random footage I have. I made a full-on review on a game called Hi-Fi Rush, and it didn't do too well, right? Because obviously I have an Overwatch audience. I didn't expect that to blow up. But the whole reason I made that Hi-Fi Rush video is because I could really feel the Overwatch burnout. Basically, I really wasn't happy with the way that the way the videos turned out. The recent, I think it was the Baptiste and Junkrat one. The Junkrat one I was sick, right? But I still wasn't happy with how it turned out at all. It still did well. It still got the amount that it normally does. But the overall quality I just wasn't happy with. So I was just like, I need to take a break. Not from making content, but just from Overwatch. So I decided to do a full-on review on a game, and it just helped me so much mentally. And it also did things like, it helped me structure videos better because I made a review. It wasn't like a short video on something, it was a full-on game review. So I think this video's quality is a lot better. Maybe it's different for you, maybe you somehow, you liked it before, but I could really just tell that there was a lot more structure to the video and a lot more, it looked like I knew what I was doing, basically. And I also just want to talk about, because the people that watched that video were also most likely the type of people to watch this part of the Overwatch videos right now. So if you were one of the people that watched my Hi-Fi Rush video and you left one of those comments, one of the many, right? Because all of the comments I got were really positive. But it was the comments that were like, dude, I liked the video. I come for your channel and your personality, not just your Overwatch specifically. Things like that, right? It really actually helped a lot. And I read all of them. There's not a lot of comments to read, right? But I read all of them, trust me. I read every single one and I cherished all of them 18 million times more than I do my normal comments. Because if I made a video that, because I already knew the Hi-Fi Rush video wasn't going to do anywhere near as good as the other ones, right? I knew that. But if I made that and then it got low views and then people were also like, I don't like it, don't do this stuff ever again. I hate you. Kill yourself. Okay, I shouldn't say that. But you know what I mean, right? I don't know how I would have taken it. So I just want to say an actual special thank you to those people that are one step ahead. I don't know how to explain it, right? I value everyone, right? Because as in, when people watch my stuff, I get more feedback. I get lots of stuff. It also gives me a lot of encouragement to keep doing what I'm doing. And man, that video and those comments, it really just showed the people that really made me push and continue to do what I'm doing, and improve my content. And I guess what I mean by that is that it really shows that there's that just maybe 1,000, maybe 1,000 to 500,000. Sorry, 1,500 people that I really that are really there for me. That I also now want to really impress. You know, I see, I don't know how to explain this without sounding bad, but, you see the views, right? And, you know that they're all, people and all of that, but it's really hard to tell that they're there for, you and your personality. So when I have people go onto my video that I know isn't going to do well, but still say they're there for my personality, I don't know, it really, this is going to sound bad, but it really humanizes those people, right? You can really visualize them, and because I can do that, there's now, I'm not trying to make videos for where I'm trying to get 58,000 views and try to hit the 100,000 views and all of that. I'm just trying to make good quality for that are 1,500 people that are there for, me specifically, as in personality. I know you're not coming to my house and delivering fucking food to me and shit like that, but you know what I mean, right? All I'm saying is, if you watch that Hi-Fi Rush video and you're the type of person to leave those comments, which I saw, I really do genuinely appreciate that, and it did go a very long way, more than you could have ever even imagined and thought of. So, I just remember, I am nothing without you guys, and I want to make you guys happy, right? Especially you few that did stick around for that, because it really just showed that there are, I don't know. I should probably stop speaking, but this is a complete fucking rant. Everyone would have fucking left by now. I don't even have footage up anymore. It's just a black screen. I'll try and find something. But like, look. Okay, I'll end it here. I'm just gonna say I really do appreciate you guys. And there's a lot of you that I acknowledge and do high quality stuff specifically for you types of people that do stick around to the end, and they're here for maybe me more than others. I'm gonna shut up. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I'll see you guys hopefully next week.